Hey guys, welcome to the Techpoint Africa Podcast. My name is Emmanuel.
I'm Oluwani Femi.
And I'm Bolu.
Ah, nice. That was a perfectly normal Bolu to say.
Thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
a good day.
Yeah. So, welcome back.
Thank you.
Chungozo is still not here for some reasons, which he will explain to you guys later.
I think you should acknowledge your fans.
Yes, thank you so much for noticing my absence in the last podcast. I'm back and, as usual, I will deliver.
God
willing. Deliver and we drag you, as usual.
Yes. There's enough to drag Bolu on today, right?
Okay.
So, we're just going to concentrate on two main hard-hitting topics that concerns Nifemi, Bolu, then give you a roundup of all
No,
things.
it's not concern me, concern Nigerians.
Yes, it concerns Nigerians. Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed Tuesday's episode, right? It was interesting, exciting, and we had a guest in the studio. Let us know what you think about that format, and if it's something we should be doing more often and regularly. And I've seen a lot of positive comments on social media, but we want more, right? We're asking for more. Okay, so what's going on?
What's going on? As I said, Nigerians, we cannot catch a break.
Okay,
and
no worry. Talk to me.
I should talk
Yes, talk to me.
It seems we're not going to catch a break.
Okay.
Because recently the federal government is telling Nigerians that this was supposed to have happened for a while now, but they're bringing it back to our notice that we have to pay 5% tax on any telecommunication service, like calls, SMSs, data. We are paying 5% tax on them. This is supposed to have been in effect since June of this year, but there have been pushbacks, right? And now there are a lot of pushbacks. Even surprisingly, right, the director of NCC, Pantami, right,
the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy,
is saying that no, we can't accept this. So, and for the first time, it's on our side. Seems it's on our side, at least from the face value. Seems it's on our side. It's saying this is not possible. So if you are thinking that how does this concern you, it actually does. Let me just break it down for you right now. Like if you're making calls, as it stands now, you pay 11 kobo per second for every call you make on any network in Nigeria, barring the 7.5% consumer tax that's already there that we have decided to grow into because we don't have a choice. So barring that, you are paying 11 kobo per second on every call you make. That is like 6 naira 60 kobo per minute for every call you make. So if this 5% tax goes into effect, you'll be paying like extra 33 kobo on every minute of call that you make. Seems inconsequential. Let me go on. On your SMSs, as it stands, you are paying, there's a 4 naira per page SMS, not per SMS, because it might be sending more than one pages in one single SMS. So there's like, you are paying...
The number of characters.
Limit,
yeah. It depends on whether you are using a feature phone or a smartphone. Exactly. So for a page, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's 4 naira per page, flat rate, barring the 7.5% existing VAT. On that, you'll be paying an extra 20 kobo. Still doesn't make sense to you, right? Now let's go to data. For 1 gig, depending on your service provider, that is 1,000 megabytes. You pay between 500 to 600 naira. That's like $1.44, right? If you're doing that, then you'll be paying an extra, let me confirm, 30 naira, right? On every 1,000 naira, on every
1 gig data.
1 gig data you buy. So for somebody like me that uses, I don't know if it's even enough, but 10 gig in a month, apart from other this thing that I use, that I load on my phone, I use 10 gig, which I pay 300 naira for my service provider. 3,000. Rather. 3,000 US like I'm using a cheat. I'm not using a cheat, I'm going the right way. Okay. So I'm paying 3,000 naira for that. And if this 5% should go into effect, I'll be paying an extra 600 naira for 10
So the question in my mind now is, how this, because the telcos actually mentioned that they've been getting taxed on other. They have been paying other kinds of taxes, right? The 7.5% tax you mentioned was in the Finance Act 2020 that they introduced it, right? And this one too, it appears it was in the Finance Act,
but it was not decided then how much the tax would be.
This is excise duty, and I'm struggling to see the difference, because normally excise duty applies to manufactured products. So you have excise duties on things like alcohol, right? So at the point of manufacturing, that's where excise duty is charged. Then when you, the user, buys it, you now had VAT, value added tax. That is supposed to be the difference. So in the case of telecoms,
why are you passing it down to the end users?
Because so at what point would you say data is being manufactured? At what point would you say
cost? So as it were, Nigeria is broke. Let's just put it like that.
You mean Nigeria or Nigerians?
Nigeria is broke. So the reason why they had to go and dig this up again and try to enforce it is because the revenue we are getting from oil and gas is not enough, and the current areas that you are taxing the working populace seems not to be enough. So now it's like they think Nigerians have money.
Okay, so another theory is yes, truthfully, Nigeria is broke, and we can see it. And another thing is inflation levels are rising rapidly, very fast. I'm sure we can.
Is it not affecting?
Yes, for people going to the market, and according to some macroeconomics, one of the ways to tackle inflation is by increasing task. I said task.
Why do you like
increasing tax?
Devil's advocate.
No, it's really important. Yeah.
So when you increase tax, what you are trying to do is reduce, the level at which people spend money. We saw that in the US when the US gave COVID relief funds, and a lot of people had money. It's part of the reasons why the US also saw some levels of inflation in their country, and they are tackling that also with similar means, but it is not, the way they are tackling it is not really putting the burden directly on the citizens. They have they've approached it in a way that makes things easier for people. So the task, why do I keep saying task? So the tax is on people, usually on the richer, people that do a lot of real estate investments. People who tend to borrow a lot of money. They increase the interest rates on things like that. So those are some of the ways they do that. So the Nigerian government, I see, when we are looking at it from the inflation perspective and trying to tackle inflation, it kind of makes sense. But are they saying there's really no other way, to tackle this without, putting, we already have enough burden as it is as Nigerians. So are they saying there's really no other way to tackle this than just putting more tax on our head?
So it's quite strange, because at the end of the day, if you even want to look at it, right, is the company that's supposed to pay the excise duty, not the individual.
But there are a lot of load on.
There's a lot of
the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators of Nigeria, that's OTIN, and ATCON, which is Association of Telecommunication Companies of Nigeria. They are all against it, because there was a time they were told to pay taxes on infrastructure. Then they were complaining again. You get there are a lot of taxes they are paying. So it's
not just taxes, levies, official and unofficial.
And from states, there was, I can't remember there was one of our podcasts where we discussed one state coming against them, like pay tax, like aside all the other taxes they are paying, that they should pay particular tax for. Yeah. It's too much on them, right? And they are trying to find a way not to pass it down to the consumers. You get, so if anybody should be complaining about this, it should be these providers, not the federal government.
Okay, so honestly, I don't know what the plan is, and a lot of the moves from the federal government is confusing, and this particular one, they don't seem to be in agreement, because the Minister of Finance is saying you guys should cooperate. But the Minister of Communications is saying, no, this doesn't make sense. So when you consider both and weigh both, it for the first time in a long time, it seems the federal government does not seem to be on one page on this particular issue. So I guess that is a promising sign that they might block things at the source before it gets to the telecom guys.
Or it gets to us and we live with it.
Oh yeah, it gets
sad
to
reality.
Yeah,
very sad.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one, and let's calm down. Let's calm down and enjoy the break, and we'll be back to you with more. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Abisola Adenoga, the head of business at Techpoint Africa. Did you know that you could present yourself as a reputable brand leader? Did you know that your business can get the limelight it deserves? Now you do. Using Techpoint Africa's marketing tools, we can put you in the faces of a large audience for brand awareness and thought leadership. To do this, reach out to us by sending an email to business@techpoint.africa or click on the link in the description below.
Hey guys, welcome back. Yeah, we've been talking about excise duties, 5% excise duties on phone calls, SMS, and internet data, in addition to the other taxes you've been paying. Because trust me, even though they say the company will pay the tax, they're going to pass it on to you. Trust me.
Definitely.
Eventually.
Yeah. So, in some cases, it's not even government regulations that will make the companies pass on costs to the consumer, right from the bat, right when you want to use the product. They will start passing on the cost to you, especially if that company is a fraudulent company. And my good friend Bolu here has a testimony for all of you. Bolu, what's up? What happened? Tell me.
Okay, yeah. So
it's a safe space, okay?
So we have more news from the crypto sphere, from the crypto space.
It's crypto.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Doesn't feel like ever have good news from that.
Okay. To be honest, thinking about it now, we've barely had any positive news from my side of
Is
things.
the market still down?
The market is still down. The market is
so I should not bother logging into my Binance app.
Since you've been dragging me, log in, please.
To do what?
Let me see you cry or something.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's happening now is it's just news of another crypto scam that the SEC, that's the United States SEC, has just slammed the founders of the scam, the people who founded the Ponzi scheme that was used to scam investors to a tune of $300 million. In Naira, that's
small money.
in Naira, that's around over 100 billion.
100 billion.
Yes,
Naira.
100 billion Naira. When we are looking at the current, black market rates.
Use black market.
Yes.
Why you not nice? Use official rates.
No.
Okay, nobody can get dollar with official rates right now. So let's move on.
Yeah. So the SEC has slammed the founders of Forsage. Forsage is a Ponzi scheme, that was able to scam investors to a tune of $300 million.
Bolu, you're not looking at my eyes. You're narrating the story. You're looking at camera. And the camera will not help you.
No,
I'm being sympathetic with you. Just looking at us while you're talking. So
I was part of this,
You're part of it.
Unfortunately.
Oh,
Wow.
What happened?
So, investors that were scammed to a tune of $300 million. Part of that $300 million, my 4K is part of that money.
$4,000 or 4,000 naira?
No, 4,000 naira. 4,000 naira is part of that, and they've charged them, and it actually happened in 2020. The Forsage scam. People who got into crypto around that time would really. It was almost certain that you'll have gone through that, because that was some of the ways some people even got started with crypto, with the Forsage scam, and there were different kinds of Forsage scam.
Do you get started with scam?
Ethereum. Most people who got into crypto,
my own problem
probably
is
got through scam.
how is it like you want to trade?
Yeah, exactly. How did this scam work?
Okay,
exactly?
yeah. So the thing is, crypto getting into crypto around, for me though, and for others who got into it around 2020, the COVID period, you don't, they sell you these, stories of how, you can make a lot of money, the usual things when it comes to Ponzi schemes, and they tell you, okay, you want to own. Because investing, they know people don't have a lot of money to invest, so they tell you want to own one Ethereum. And around that time, I think one Ethereum was around 50,000 naira, and I didn't have 50,000 naira then, and I saw that, okay, if I give someone 4,000 naira and I'm able to bring more people, basic multi-level marketing schemes, and I'm able to bring more people, I can grow my 4,000 naira to eventually owning around 3 or 4 Ethereum.
So you register with 4,000.
Yes.
And you bring how many people?
And you
yes, you bring as much
as much.
as
It's not
as
2
you
people.
can.
Then those people bring 2 people. Then
It risks,
exactly, that's
risks
how
of
multi-level
scam. Like, it
multi-level
risks
marketing.
No, but I want to know how your own works. Is it that you just be bringing as many people as possible
Yes,
by yourself, or there's a specific level you are supposed to get to before you hit?
Okay,
50,000
that's exactly how it works. If I'm able to bring more people, and then
The more people keep
yes,
adding,
those people keep bringing more people, but I can also bring more people by myself. But then I only put them after
I'm asking if it's a minimum number of people you're supposed to bring, or you just left it.
three
people.
Three was the number of people you're going to bring.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you first get in, so they were able to scam us, because I'm one of them. They were able to scam us of about $300 million, and it was it was really a big scam then. $300 million, when we talk about crypto scams, might seem like it's just small money. Maybe there are some people they scammed of billions of dollars. For example, on this podcast, I'm sure you recollect when we were talking about the scam by MTI, Mirror Trading International. That was to a tune of $1.7 billion. And
so this is just 300 million.
Well, this you might say this is just, but for I was, numbers, statistics is just statistics, but when you start seeing the faces behind those numbers,
So I'm trying to understand your loss in context. This 4,000 naira that you lost was in 2020.
Yes. So when you adjust for
I'm getting
inflation,
a bit more sympathetic.
that's around 9.
No, wait, what? No, I'm saying it in the context of how much you were probably earning then.
I actually just finished. I just finished university.
Service.
No,
when?
it was. I just finished university then, and
that is not inflation. What I'm talking about.
No, I did have money then. I was pretty. I was
the
broke.
little 4,000.
Yeah, exactly. I was broke then. Things were red for me then, like.
I think I
Game of Thrones red wedding red, like really red. So, and the scam was basically, it had, they painted it in such a way that it looked very real. You could see the connection with blockchain, things like that. And then that's why, when you're about to get into crypto, you hear a lot of people talk about doing your own research. But what thing I've noticed with doing your own research is, scammers are getting smarter, right?
Writing blog posts.
Exactly.
And doing content marketing.
Exactly. They have very good white papers. Imagine a scammer hires someone like me now to write their white paper. If you read it, it will be
convinced.
You might be convinced, right? So that's one of those things that are just making it even more difficult. So even doing your own research might, patience is now also one of those things you need to have, before going into crypto. So you need to look at how is the project going, what is it looking like. Don't rush. Observe, because you might not always catch things from reading research, and you might miss some things.
But you've learned now.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what does the US SEC want to do with these people now?
Yeah, so the US SEC, like I said, they've slapped them with fraud charges, and they will definitely be going. They've actually their identities have been, made public, and they will obviously be going to court. And yes,
do you feel you have closure now?
Well, if I can get my 4,000 naira back,
you're not getting anything back. You have closure.
No, you probably never have closure, because I can actually relate. There was, ever since MMM came to Nigeria, many of these platforms have become rampant, right? I lost some money on Ultimate Cycler. I lost. In fact, I don't even want to think about WhatsApp groups where you.
Yeah, I'm even surprised you Forsage didn't scam you. Like, it was really popular there. It was so popular
that
2020,
my eyes have already turned. Like turned.
Okay.
That is the pidgin English or English version or whatever. But my eyes were already red as of 2020 because the money I lost 2016, 2017. Nah. You're not going to come to me with something like that. I even lost in Beat Club Advantage or something. So, yeah.
They're looking for up and down.
See, so as of 2020, forget, I will not even know the name of the company. Yeah, so I learned the hard way. And I guess whoever is listening should take note of all these things we are saying so that you'll be like the wise son of Mr. Tortoise and learn from my mistake, learn from Bolu's mistakes.
Yeah.
Femi is looking at us like
I'm investment averse, so
yes.
Is it risk averse? That's what they call it. So you hardly find me getting scammed because I can smell it from afar. Even the real ones, I will still doubt you.
Well, fair point. Okay, so yeah, those are some. Let's just take your take home from whatever we just said, and lots of interesting things are happening in the tech space in Africa. So what else has been happening? What did we miss? What did we not talk about today?
Kenya's insurtech startup Lami Technologies has raised an extra 3.7 million seed round to expand its insurance products
Insurance is not a
in
big
Africa.
Deal in Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think you should check out that story on Techpoint. Then of course, identity verification startup YouVerify, they closed an additional $1 million seed to verify 2 billion identities.
2 billion
in Nigeria.
I guess
we
Africa.
don't have 2 billion people in Nigeria.
Okay. Anyway, that's more details you'll still find on Techpoint. Then of course, South African ruling party wants streaming platforms regulated. This is they've been fighting on this hill.
It has been
for quite some time, right? Pay TV, streaming, then terrestrial TV. There's a whole conversation around that. Yeah. So it's also on Techpoint. Then finally, South Africa's ruling party wants the country to phase out 2G and 3G. Yeah, if 4G is available everywhere, I don't see any issue with this.
Yeah.
So
that they can optimize their infrastructure
for 5G.
For 5G and future.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, good. So guys, let us know what you think about all the stories we discussed here today, and lots of interesting things. Remember, you can see all our stories on techpoint.africa. And if you are listening to these podcasts and you've not been sharing your comments, you've not been liking, please change your habits. It's not good. Do the right thing. So, yeah, in the future, we're going to be looking out for things like this and find a way to support and reward our loyal listeners. I mean, Nifemi gave you something the other time and nobody passed.
Okay, I thought you had to push me under the bus. Nobody passed. The questions were not hard.
Who said the question was hard now?
I'm just putting it out there.
Good. If you're listening to us for the first time, please, where can you find the podcast? Let's hear the voice. Yes.
You can find us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Hi-Hat Radio, and anywhere else you get a podcast.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.